personal video response on Hans Rosling and Asian Lady TED Talk. So Hans Rosling, the magic washing machine. The only thing that really stood out to me was the fact that he was showing how in other countries they need to spend all this time on washing the machine, and he said something like that they hated wasting time on something that had such low productivity. As I'm listening to his talk, I was thinking, I'm kind of a germaphobe, and so I will only wear my clothes like once before they need to be washed, at least according to my standard of cleanliness. But that's because I'm super spoiled. I've always had a washing machine available to me, even if I didn't have it in the house. There was always access to one. So for me, it's okay to say, all right, I wore this shirt once, it needs to be washed. I think that my priorities would shift if I had to hand wash everything. I would certainly not consider things dirty after one use, which is probably something that I could do better. As he's talking about the poverty line, the washing machine line, and the airline, at first I'm over here like I'm barely, like maybe I'm over here at the washing line. But if you think about it, I have an apartment complex that's super nice, and I have a washing machine and dryer available to me, that I don't pay electricity, I don't pay for light and water and gas and all that stuff myself. I guess it's all included in the rent. But if I were to break everything down, even I, as like a lowly, poor college student, could be considered in the airline, like one of those really rich people, which I don't consider myself that. But then you think about others who don't have that luxury that we take here as a given, and you kind of begin to reassess your priorities. So that's what I was thinking with Hans Rosling's talk. Now, the Asian lady, she said a lot of things that stuck out to me. What blew my mind was that this girl couldn't go to school because it was $13 fee was too much for her parents, and they didn't want to waste the money. So I like when she said that women are not the problem, they're the solution. And as you educate women, it's not a waste. And this girl, yeah, they were able to give her an education, which, side note, she shouldn't have been so like, oh, they only give little amounts, because what if that's all they could give? And they did. They gave their $13. And yes, it was very generous for that gentleman that donated the $10,000, and I'm glad that they used it to educate women and give women scholarships, because I guess I didn't realize the struggles that women in other countries have. Education is not a given for them as it is here. It is it's certainly costly and not necessarily a priority. But what she said that really made an impact was that women who are educated then educate their children in a more enlightened way. Here at BYU Idaho, they teach us to teach others as we're learning, because it's a way to understand the material better. But if we think about it, as we teach others, we understand the material, or as we understand the material better, we're able to teach others, because we know what we're talking about. And so when we're teaching our kids, we're able to teach them, I'm talking in educated women, are able to teach their children with an understanding of what it is that they're teaching. Where if a daughter, a young girl's family decides that she's not worth the money to be given an education, when she has children, she's not able to teach them. And if men are the main breadwinners of the family, they're not going to be there to teach their children either, which just kind of puts everyone in that vicious cycle that the first girl was able to get out of. And she was not only able to make a better life for herself, but she was able to make a better life for her immediate family, and assuming the family that she later is able to have herself. This lady, Sherilyn, she showed a picture of a young woman who was starving and said that her brothers were fine, because I guess they were fed, they were taken care of because, hey, they're males. I think that's a double standard, but so much worse than the double standard that, for example, I deal with. I'm the oldest of 3 kids. I'm the only girl. So, for example, when I was in high school, the biggest problem that I had was that I wasn't allowed to go to the boy-girl sleepover where my brothers were. And no joke, to this day, if you ask my father why, he's like, well, you're a girl and they're boys. The dumbest situation ever. But when you think about it, it's like so minuscule compared to other countries where the daughters aren't fed in favor of the brothers. I take my little problems any day over that. That's crazy.